started, and I have to go through my normal kind of class introduction stuff. I'm Coach Michelle, and I teach at Citrus Heights, Roseville, Orangeville, Fair Oaks, and this is a restorative yoga class. And if you've never done restorative yoga before, it's amazing. It is a practice that we use for healing for injury, illness, and stress. And in our society, stress seems to be the prevailing factor, but then there is a lot of illness going on too. So, or if you have little injuries or aches and body pains, it's a good practice for when you really don't feel like you can do much, but you could at least do this for yourself. It's a very nurturing practice. So it's very slow and methodical. You're going to need pillows, yoga bolsters, blocks. I always like little pillows, and then I have a bigger bed pillows, or if you have a yoga bolster, those work too. So grab those. If you have essential oil, I do like to use that in my restorative class, so we're probably going to dabble in that tonight if you have that. And then at the end of practice, for those of you who've been with me for a while or have practiced restorative, a weighted eye pillow is so nice for the very end of class. This one is one that you can heat or cool. So I heat it up in cold months, and then I cool it down in summer months. So it's really nice at the end of your practice. So you don't have to have that stuff to relax, but they're just things that you could do to nurture yourself. So just consider that. Okay, so we're going to start in Sukhasana pose, which is a cross-legged pose. And I invite you to put a pillow underneath your hips or a blanket. It opens the hip a little bit, and it feels a little bit more comfortable on the sit bones. You're going to do a lot of adjusting in this class, but it's very welcomed because sometimes it takes a minute to find ourselves in a very comfortable pose. So start here. We're going to do the Apana Mudra here. So it's just the thumb and the index finger touching, placing the back of the hands on the knee, sitting tall through the spine. And then just allow yourself to soften. Try to let all that's going on out there go. As you sit in this pose and you're breathing naturally, just notice the sounds around you. Soften your jaw. Soften your brow. Take a deep inhale through your nostrils. Pause at the very top of your breath. Hold it for just a second and then exhale out your nostril. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more times, breathing out in through your nostrils, pausing, and exiting out your nostrils. Okay, bring your hands to heart center. That deep breath helps to reduce stress wherever you are. You do 10 breaths, just like that, slow and controlled, you will be calmer at the end. Almost 100% of the time. So as you sit here with your hands at your heart center, just settle in here. See if you can find the heartbeat of your thumbs, your fingertips. It's very subtle. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Now inhale deeply, hold at the top, and then open your mouth and exhale as if you're going to fog a mirror. Yeah, good. So that's the breath I want you to come back to when you're in some of the other poses. So we're going to roll our wrists. Good. Take the fingertips behind us, lean back, and just reach back with your heart to the sky. Draw your shoulder blades together. Chin points to the sky, heart points to the sky. And then come back to a tall pose here. Hands on the knees. Let's crisscross our legs in the other direction now. We're going to do a seated cat-cow. You're going to round the back, looking down at the belly. And then inhale, reach the heart forward, look up. Exhale, press back, rounding the back, looking down. Inhale, reach forward with the heart. 2 more, just like that. Nice and slow. And 1 more. Looking down, and then looking up, reaching the shoulder blades back. Back to neutral spine. Moving yourself over to your tabletop position here. Hands underneath the shoulders. Knees underneath the hips. Rounding the back into cat. Really pushing against the earth here. And then take your tail and crown and rise it to the sky. Going into cow pose. So arching the back. So we're going to go into cow. Cat, exhale. Cow, inhale. Cat, exhale. Cow, inhale. Good. Come to a neutral spine. Take the right arm out to the side of you. Just reach here. And then tuck it underneath the left arm, taking it down to the elbow, shoulder, or ear. And this is where you can grab your props because you're placing one underneath your head, underneath your shoulder, and then finding comfort there. Once you find the comfort with your shoulder and your pillows, you're going to reach the left arm forward to the top of your mat. So just kind of maneuver yourself here. So finding that softness. You want to find that comfort zone. Find that area where you feel like you can go, okay, this feels good. That's what you're looking for, that sweet spot. And sometimes it takes some adjustment, maneuvering. So allow yourself that time to do that. And then settle into the shoulder. And as you inhale, you're going to inhale deeply, hold at the top, and then as you exhale, imagine letting go and melting into the earth. Yeah. Three more breaths, just like that, where you come up high, hold it, and then as you let it go, you soften the body and you settle in. One more breath. Rise back up into tabletop pose. Good, one cat-cow. Back to a neutral spine. Reach the left arm out to the side. Tuck it underneath the right arm, taking it down to the elbow, shoulder here, finding your props, finding where you need that support, getting comfortable, and then reaching the right arm forward. Off, it's literally, your right arm is going to literally come off the top of your mat. And so I want you to get heavy here. And then just really allow yourself to kind of sink into the earth with this one. Good. Find that breath where you hold it at the top and then you melt and let it go. And you're going to do that 3 times. Nice and slow. Excellent. Come back up to tabletop. 1 cat-cow, nice and slow. Nice and slow. Everything's nice and slow and restorative. Good. Come back to a neutral spine. Walk your knees back. 1 nice step back. You're in an inclined position here. You can place a blanket underneath your knees if your knees are feeling weird about that contact. But we're going to do some hip rolls to the left for 3. Nice and big. 2. 1. Change direction. Come back to center. Now take your time getting down to the ground, taking your time. Like really want you to be comfortable when you go down there. And come into Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose, your elbows are right underneath your shoulders, and you're just looking forward. So here, imagine yourself just relaxing. The shoulders move away from the ear, move down the spine. Close your eyes. As you breathe deeply, you can feel your tummy massaging against the ground. Good. So we're going to bend our right leg and reach back for our foot. Now, if that's not your practice, it's okay. You don't have to reach for your foot. You can just reach the arm back. Just reach back. It's the whole opening of the chest here that I'm looking for. So just open and just hold it and look forward. And then just try to soften with your breath. Try and soften everything. As you settle in here, you have a little bit more breathing space on the left side. Always close your eyes. Always settle in. Good. Release and send the foot home. Arm comes back. You're back in Sphinx pose. Now bend the left leg and same thing on this side. Each side might feel a little different. Some sides you feel a little bit more flexible. Just do what you feel you can do. It should be comfortable, not painful. Ease out of it whenever you feel pain. settle in. Now you have more breathing space on the right side, or I'm sorry, on the left side. Just breathe into it. Soften, let it go. Good. Release. Now come back up onto your hands and knees. We're going to move into Balasana pose, one of the main restorative poses that we do. Knees wide, toes touching. And this is where you can bring all kinds of pillows and props for this one, because we're going to be here for a few minutes. So I like to kind of stock up. So knees are wide, toes are touching or close to touching. And then you just walk your body forward, resting your left cheek on your pillows, settling in, letting your upper body just surrender here. So take this time to really surrender. Pay attention to what your body needs. Do your knees need some extra cushion? Double fold your mat. Do you need a blanket somewhere where there's a little uncomfortable feeling, or do you need an extra pillow? So find what you need. We're going to be here for about 3 to 4 minutes. So settle in. Let it go. Release the tension, release the holding. A little more. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, let it all go. Let every tension, let every contraction release. Switch your cheek to face the other direction now. And then settle in on this side. Let the hips relax. And soften. As you inhale deeply, imagine letting everything go. One more deep inhale on this side. And you're going to come up, back up to your tabletop pose. The next pose is my favorite. It is a frog pose. So I'm going to have a pillow for my head here, but I'm also going to have one for my side body, my leg. So we're going to start in tabletop pose. And then we're going to walk our hips back just a little bit so that we can lower ourselves down to the ground safely and comfortably here. Resting my left cheek on the pillow. My arms are going to come to a cactus pose. My right leg is going to press out to the side in a 90-degree angle. My body's just going to center down or ground down into the earth here. So my gut, my hips, everything's going to press against the earth here. It's a very nurturing pose. So settle in. This is half frog. Notice any tension that you're holding. Notice any contracting, and then let it go. We naturally move to that pose as our thoughts guide us into stress. So it's important to know the relationship between the mind and the body. Let it go. Let your body relax. Soften. A little more. A little more. Inhale deeply, hold at the top, and then exhale. 2 more deep breaths, just like that, nice and slow. And then slowly rise out of this pose on the right side. Just come back to Sphinx pose just for a nice inhale and exhale. Such a good pose. Oh, it's my favorite. I can fall asleep. Move your pillow to your left side now. You're going to have your same cactus arms moving to your right cheek and your left leg out to the side. Make sure your leg is completely supported by your pillows and settle in here. Continuing to soften the body. Notice if you're holding or you're contracting. And soften it and let it go. A little more. And a little more. Awesome. Come slowly back to Sphinx pose for one inhale and one exhale. Nice and slow. The next pose is a pigeon pose. It's probably the hardest pose that we're going to do tonight, but it doesn't have to feel painful. So that's what our pillows are for. So to get to pigeon pose, let's just wag our tail a little bit here because our hips are going to open with this one. Maybe some circles with our hips. Change direction. Walk back a little bit with your knees, just like we did before. I'm going to have you press your right knee forward between your wrists. And then kind of wiggle your foot out to the outer edge of the left side of your mat. So it's kind of, your calf is diagonal. This is where your props come in to place underneath your hips. So get your hips nice and supported here on that right side. I like to take a pillow and fold it here. And then before I lay down, I like to come up on my fingertips and align my hips first, because that makes for a comfortable pose. So if you align your hips so that they're square, then you can lay your spine down and you can bring yourself as high as you want with your props. I'm going to rest my left cheek down and settle in here to see what my body needs. I might need another pillow underneath my right shoulder or my right side. So you're kind of experimenting here for the first minute because it is a tough pose. It's a very big hip opener. And like I said at the beginning of class, we hold stress in our bodies. And so restorative yoga helps to release a lot of that stress. And hips are one of the places that we hold it. So find that sweet spot between comfort and effort. And find extra pillows and things to support yourself. So we're going to stay here, settling in, noticing your belly presses against your thigh here for a nice massage as you inhale and exhale. See if you can soften a little more. A little more. A little more. Coming gently out of this pose, back up to those fingertips. tuck the back toe, lift the knee, and then bring the knee forward and rest it down. And that gives you some space to pull the other leg back out. You can come back into tabletop. The other side, let's bring the left knee forward and then wiggle the foot over to the right side of the mat. Coming back, pushing the right leg back, coming onto the fingertips, align the hips first. Get your props and your pillows underneath the left hip. You want this to be comfy. Then when you're ready to lay the spine down, lay it down and turn onto your right cheek. Just relaxing the arms, relaxing the upper body. Reach the arms forward a little bit. Maybe an extra pillow underneath your head. So if you hold any stress in your hips, you're a hip stress person, this pose is challenging, but it can also be very liberating because you're opening up an area that's been closed and hiding. So soften the hips. Imagine the hips falling a little bit. And then let it go. A little more. A little more. Soften. Three more deep inhales in this pose here. You might notice that this side might feel a little different than the other side. It's pretty normal actually to have one side that's a little bit more open or a little bit more flexible. And then come back very slowly, very gently back to tabletop pose. Right, so here's the cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Now I would like you to sit back into hero's pose, onto your heels, but I'm going to put a pillow underneath my legs here. So you could actually push several pillows if you wanted. You could be pretty high if you wanted. But we're going to sit here in hero's pose, hands on our thighs. So we're going to sit right here on our pillows, just relaxing, seeing how that feels against the feet, right? The feet are pressed, the top of the feet are pressing against the earth. Then come forward and then just tap out the feet a little bit. And then come back into that hero's pose, right here, looking forward, softening the shoulders, deep inhale. And exhale. Come forward, tap out the feet. And then one last time, but this time we're going to hold for 3 breaths. Closing our eyes, 3 breaths. Nice and deep. Good. Okay. So now we're going to turn on to our backside. Actually, you know what? Before we go onto our backside, I do want to do some cleansing breaths before we lay down. And so if you have essential oil, you can use it. If not, you do not have to. But for the people that might be watching this later, if you place the oil right on your right palm, just at the base of the palm, and you just rub your palms together. I have lavender oil. This hand I'm just going to leave up. In this hand, we're going to make the symbol of the thumb and the pinky showing, okay, on your right hand. Okay, so we're going to take the right thumb against the nostril. We're going to breathe deeply through the left nostril, holding at the top, and then sealing the left nostril, exhaling out the right. Inhale through the right nostril, sealing it with the thumb, exhaling out the left nostril. Keeping the thumb on that right nostril, inhale through the left nostril. Sealing the left nostril, exhale out the right. Close your eyes and imagine doing this, or continue to do this several more rounds, just like I just taught you. Sealing one, closing the other, taking it slow. So you're clearing and cleansing your energy channel of your body, from your root chakra all the way up to your heart chakra, or your crown chakra. So you are clearing the energy channels that might be blocked in the body. It's a very ancient practice. It takes practice to really get that deep breath and that holding and that exhaling. So finish up your last round here. This is called Nadi Shodhan. Perfect. We're going to come and do this. So if you think about that, that means that your props have to support that pose. So I have my pillows a little higher than my head pillow. So you could fold your pillow or what have you. We're going to start in a seated position. And we're going to just kind of bring ourselves down to the ground, bringing our heart leading, hands down by our side. And then I'm just going to maneuver my pillow so that my head feels supported. I don't want my neck to feel unsupported here, or like it's having to bring some effort into it. So I want you to be comfortable. And then once you get a nice comfortable pose, straighten your legs if that feels good to you. You're welcome to keep them bent, but see if you can straighten them, keeping the palms by the side. The heart leads to the sky. Soften the hips. Soften the ribs. The shoulder. The jaw. The brow. Soften. Settle into your normal breath. Line your body if there's anything that's off kilter. readjust, find comfort, settle in. Inhale deeply, letting the chest expand and fall. Expand and fall. Good. Flutter your eyes open. Make your way back up. That pose should have been pretty comfortable. So if it wasn't comfortable, that just means you need more pillows next time. Everything in this class should be comfortable, so that just means get more pillows. All right, the next pose is a supported bridge. And I love this pose too. So we're gonna lay down. I always like a pillow underneath my head. I'm gonna walk my feet into my buttocks. I'm gonna lift my hips up to the sky, and then I'm just gonna kind of see what I feel like tonight. If one pillow is good underneath my hips, maybe two, maybe you fold one, and then just let the hips fall and see what that feels like to you. And then let the spine fall. Let the arms kind of get heavy and fall where they may. When I say that people carry stress in their hips, I realize that more people carry stress in their hips than I realized. I carry mine in my gut, in my shoulder. My sister carries hers in her jaw and her brow. But I have so many people that I've encountered that they say they carry their stress in their hips. And so if that's you, this is a very nurturing pose for the hips. Just letting the hips feel that support and softness. It's important to know where we carry our stress because we can control the comfort that we send to that area. Walk the feet together, touch the feet together, and then bow the knees out to the side. Now, I will say, this is a very big hip opener, so if you're a stressed person that holds stress in your hips, you might want to put a pillow under each thigh, because it might feel a little bit better to be supported on both sides. I ask that you put your hands on your belly, just resting the palms right there by the belly button, noticing the breath rise and fall. Stay here. Let it go. Let it go.
Inhale deeply into the lower lobes of the belly, noticing the hands rise and the fingers separate. As you exhale, the fingertips come together. Continue that a few more times. Good. Bring the knees back up to center when you're done with that last breath. And then just windshield wiper the knees to the right and left, just taking your time. You're welcome to keep the pillow underneath your hips, or you can remove it, but it actually feels nice for this next one. Taking the right leg out straight, bringing the left knee in, and just holding it in. And just breathe deeply. Relaxing the arms, shoulders. Send that leg long. Bring the other knee in. Taking your time. Letting that other foot fall to the side. Shoulders relax. Deep breath in and out. Now bring both knees in. And I'd like you just to make some little circles to the left 3 times. Massaging the kidneys. And then to the right. Place the feet down on the floor, remove the pillow, and take it to your right side. Arms are going to come out to the sides of you, palms down, bringing both knees in. You're going to hold the knees in here. And then you're just, when you're ready, you're slowly drop it. You can maneuver your hips if you'd like. And you're slowly drop the knees over to the right. But please make sure you support the entire leg with a pillow. It's much more comfortable and easy to leg is supported. So foot, ankle, shin, knee. Maybe even a little bit of your thigh. Keep it supported and then just settle in. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the tummy. Relaxing the hip. Call into a deep breath here. Hold at the top of that deep breath just for a second or two, and then let it go. Nice and slow, letting all that air out. One more breath, just like that. Good. Bring the knees back up to center. Adjust the hips if you need to. Adjust your props to the other side now, to your left side. Arms out to the side, and then slow. Finding comfort and softness through the shoulders. Let the legs get heavy and shift where they may. And just breathe. Call in a deep breath to the highest point. Hold it for a second or two, and then slowly let it go all the way. Push all the stale air out, and then do that again. Bring your knees to the center. Take your hands down by your side, palms up. We're going to do, the end of class is Shavasana pose, and you're welcome to support yourself with pillows underneath your legs, underneath your feet, underneath your arms. I kind of like all of it. I like pillows underneath my arms, underneath my legs, and rest here. Palms up, feet fall to the side, head is supported. You're in corpse pose. The end of class. This pose represents the death of our practice. But death in the Indian culture is a positive thing, represents sort of a completion of something, a new journey ahead of you. So settle into the body and allow yourself to just melt a little bit here.
Good. Start to bring some awareness back into your body. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit. Maybe you want to bend your knees. Just kind of come back. You literally made it to the end of class. This is a hard practice for the mind. Move your way to the side of your body, like in a fetal position, resting your head and the crux of your arms. I just want to allow you this time to just rest here in this nice fetal position, bending the knees. This represents kind of a new beginning, new chapter, a new moment. I always like to take this time in the class to think of the things that I'm grateful for. A person, a situation, whatever it is. I say that now. Come back up. I see your daughter in the back. She's peeking through the door. I was waving at her. We're almost done. Come back to your seated pose here. Good. We're all done. This is the end of our practice right here in our seated pose. So I'm going to ask that you put your back and palms together. You can join us if you want. You want to sit here and do this with us? You want to sit here? Good. Take the back of your hands and rest them on your knees. And sit nice and tall and close your eyes. And just settle into your breath. However it is that you feel, and however it is that you want to breathe right now. Good. And then you bring your hands to heart center. Right here. See if you can find your heartbeat in your thumbs and your finger pads. It's very subtle. You have to look for it. It's always there. And then we finish our practice with the sound of Om. You don't have to do it if you don't want, but if you want to, it's just Om. Very long. You can just listen if you want. Inhale. Hands to heart center, or you can bring it to between your brow. We bow to each other for showing up tonight, finishing the whole class together. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. That was really good. I know it's a hard practice because our mind's probably thinking about laundry and dinner and dishes, but you did it. Thank you for joining me. Good for you for doing this for yourself. You did a great job. And I'm glad your daughter joined us. You should come next time and just do the whole thing with us. Maybe. Okay, good night. See you next week. Oh, I forgot to tell you, next week they want us to start doing it in the studio. So next week I won't be here, I'll be at the studio. So if you want to come to the studio with all your equipment, you can, or you can join in live stream, but I'll be at the studio, so.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right.